Now, the ultimate challenge of a four-dimensional box is the fact that we are three-dimensional creatures. We don't understand the fourth dimension. So let's talk for a bit about how would you explain a box to a creature of less than that dimension. For example, suppose you wanted to explain what is a one-dimensional empty box to a zero-dimensional creature. Well, first you need to explain that there's this whole new dimension. There's a direction in which things could change, and that's going to be difficult because a zero-dimensional creature has no concept of any dimensions. But you could say that as you went along this dimension, you would encounter various objects that the zero-dimensional creature would understand. They're solid and hollow zero-dimensional boxes. So first you have this dimension. Now, maybe this dimension will be called not the x direction, but the t direction for time. Perhaps your zero-dimensional creature could at least understand that as you go through time, things can change. So you'll have different things. You start by having a single solid zero-dimensional box. Okay, it understands that. And then let's say later in time, you have emptiness. You have no what is a hollow zero-dimensional box at all of these points later on in time, and then finally you reach another point in time when you have a solid zero-dimensional box. So in some sense, the zero-dimensional creature is going to understand, well, okay, there was a dot somewhere, and then there weren't dots for a long time, and then there's a dot again. This time can be your your dimension. Perhaps you could depict it more simply, like here's your time dimension, and at some time 0 you had a dot, at another time 1 you had a dot, and at all the times in between you have hollow points, empty zero-dimensional boxes. And if you put all of that together, you will get what we call an empty one-dimensional box. Now to explain an empty two-dimensional box to a one-dimensional creature, we can employ a similar technique. There's a dimension called time. Now, this is a creature who only knows one-dimensional objects, but maybe things change in this one-dimensional space, so they can think about, okay, at a particular time 0, we had a line segment. Okay, we had a line segment. And then there's a solid one box. And then at a later point in time, say time 1, we have another solid one-dimensional box. And at all the times in between, we have hollow one-dimensional boxes, just 2 dots. And then 2 dots at another point. And all the way across, we have hollow one-dimensional boxes. I've circled 1 as an example. There's an empty 1 box. Okay, to explain an empty 3-dimensional box to a 2-dimensional creature, we could use a method much like the construction of a book safe. Here's a picture of a person making a book safe. You take a book, you cut out all the pages, you glue them together, and you make a container. If you cut every hole in a page of a book and glue all the remaining pages together, you can make a container. So similarly, just as we're going across time, now we're going to go across a 3rd dimension. We start with a solid 2-dimensional box, like the cover of the book, and then going down from that, we have a hollow 2-dimensional box, just the square, and then below that, just another square. And squares and squares and squares and squares and squares, all the way down until we have the bottom of the book, the other cover, where we have another solid 2-dimensional boxes. All of the points in between, we have empty 2-dimensional boxes. And hopefully you can see how if you pack all of this together, you will make a solid box. There's that space in between. If you pack all of this together, it will form a square. Now it's going to be a little bit difficult for the one-dimensional creature in this world to understand that this square has 4 sides that are line segments. It's totally going to understand, okay, sure, you started with one side and you ended with one side, but the left hand of the 2 endpoints throughout the time is going to make up another side of the square. And these individual dots all packed together make another solid line segment. This is the trick by which we will employ to describe a four-dimensional box to us, three-dimensional creatures.